What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the 4th episode of my Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree 100% walkthrough. So today we are going to be tackling the first, what I would call, large dungeon of the game. I'm not quite sure if I would label it as a full-blown legacy dungeon, as in like Stormville Castle. This is definitely shorter than Stormville Castle. I should be able to knock this all out in one episode. So we're going to warp here to the gravesite plain, which is right in front of the dungeon. Before we go in, I'm going to talk to Ansbach one more time, because we can talk to him about more.
Oh, you must mean some more is a kind. He provisions our little outfit. Some more traffics with his brethren, who collect supplies from all. No doubt they find inspiration. These are not your foes, should you spot any forager brood.
So just reinforces the idea that we're not supposed to attack those enemy-looking things that give us the cookbooks. We found one in a previous episode. If you do, Moore gets mad at you and he invades you. So just be sure not to attack them. I will point them out every time I come across one, and they do give you cookbooks. So for now, I'm going to take this time to level up and put another level into Faith. As I said, I'm trying to get my Faith up to 21 so I can use the Blasphemous Blade. Alternatively, you could use Godric's Great Rune or use the Faith Heirloom Talisman that gives you an extra 5 levels. So if you don't want to actually invest levels, if you'd rather invest levels into things that are going to be directly impactful for what we're using now, strength would be a good place to put it. Maybe even dexterity or endurance, depending on what weapon you're using, would also be a good place to put it. But for now, that's what we're going to do. I'm also, since it's late day, I'm going to warp the time to morning, since part of this dungeon is outside, so I want it to be light out. So we're going to go until morning. Okay. Now we're going to charge on in and have ourselves a good old time. And this is a very good dungeon. I mentioned it is not quite as big as like a Stormville Castle if we're going to compare it to something in the base game. But it's very well laid out. Very typical From Software level design, which we've come to love. Open this. We are going to be greeted by the Belurat Tower Welcoming Committee. So I just used my special attack there on it, and it killed it in 2 hits. But don't get too comfortable, because there's more. You see all these scorpions hanging from the ceiling? They're all going to come say hello. So I kind of let them gather together in a clump, and since this weapon has pretty good crowd control, it works very well. And plus, these scorpions do not hurt very bad either. So directly in front of us, we have a Revered Spirit Ash. So we're going to use that to power up our spirit summons. It's actually 2 of them. Very helpful. And then back here on this corpse, we have a Shadow Realm Rune 1. And these scorpions just kind of keep dropping. So just mind your step. Up here we got some more big ones. So jump attack, then R1 does very well. And then there's a couple more small ones that can drop. So right here, this is a fireproof dried liver, increases your fire defense. Up here on the stairs, we're gonna have another item. Go up. But beware, lurking behind the corner. Ah, come on. Keep whiffing. There we go. So there are 3 different types of scorpions. There are the really small ones. There's the medium-sized one. That was actually a medium-sized one. And then there's a really big type that we're going to encounter later that's a little bit harder to kill. So get those black fireflies. And we have ourselves a Grace here ahead. And there's a lot of these shadowy enemies in this area. Some of them are hostile, others are not. And why not? I'm going to go ahead and rest just to recover whatever health I lost in this small bit of FP. So first we're going to go left. There's going to be some shadowy enemies that are hostile, so make sure you take them out. Many of these do go down in 1 hit, but there are varieties that take more than one hit that also hit you a lot harder. So you got some neutralizing boluses. This door is locked from the other side. We're going to get that shortcut later. This door is also locked from the other side, and we're going to get to that later. So for now, go this way. And this is one of the bigger ones. So you hit him with R1s and he staggers with each hit. So you can kind of stun lock him. When I mean stagger, I don't mean the kind of stagger that gives you a critical hit, but the type that knocks him back so that he doesn't attack you. So you get those stimulating boluses. And then in the water, you have not resin and a nice little surprise. It's another big one, I think. Yeah. But 4 R1s kill it. He drops smithing stones for us. All right, so this part's a little bit tricky because these people, you have ranged attacks that they hit you with. And then see that guy, he's coming along with his buddy. So I'm gonna lure him over first with an arrow. There we go. As well as his friend, why not? Switch back to my main weapon. I'm gonna back up, use my special, take him out real quick. Try to get his friend to come over here too. I might even just kill this guy with arrows if he's too slow. There we go. So now the trick is I want to take these guys out so they don't bother me. So you can kind of peek out from the corner, fire off an arrow, then go back, and I just missed there, but this one should hit. These guys fortunately do not take very many hits, but I'm being a little bit sloppy. It's okay. All right, got the first one. Alternatively, if you have a better ranged attack or better ranged spell or something like that, you can take him out with anything that will reach that far. But for me, it just happens to be arrows. Got the second one. So we're gonna run behind us here. These guys saying their prayers at a somber 3. So that well, we're gonna come back to this later, but you actually need a key to get through there. So we're going to get the key and then come back. So before we go all the way forward, we're going to look to our right. There's an enemy crouched there, and then there's going to be one that ambushes us. See, well, it's not necessarily an ambush, but that guy's there. So we're going to take out the big guy first. Do a jump attack, maybe a charged heavy. Take him out. And then don't sleep on this guy, because sometimes he can come up and try to attack you. So big guy drops a smithing stone. And then here we got Mesmer Fire Grease, which is a new type of fire grease in the DLC. Now we're going to go all the way back here, go to the top of the stairwell. First, we knock this guy out. So yeah, jump attacks are very good. You can open with the jump attack. Takes 3 hits instead of 4. Just wait for these guys and I'll do it. Oops, I'm going to whiff is what I'm going to do. There we go. But the follow-up hits them both. I meant to do that. So watch out. You got a guy behind here, but then there's also a guy in front. So don't get too cocky. It is kind of a trap to get you to go for this guy, then this guy sneaks up behind you. And for our trouble, we get a black firefly. Under here, there's more enemies. Just be careful. I don't think this is one of the stronger ones, but just be mindful. Behind these pots, get a silverhorn tender. And up here, we're going to have a grace, which we are going to rest at. The enemies behind us respawn, but I don't really care because we're not really going to go back there anyway, so. Okay, we don't have enough to level up, so. First things first, we're going to take the left path here. And we rested, so these guys respawn. These were the guys that were sniping us earlier. And now we can just attack them. So what we want to do is you'll notice that this door is locked. We're going to get the key for it later, but first we're just going to hop over on these rooftops. Just going to go to the back wall here. And this is above where we were before. We were on that ground level before. We're directly above where we were just at. So what I want to do is loop around here so we can get back up top. And you kind of want to do you could do a running jump to get there, or just hop over here. Then we can jump over this railing, and there's an item on the other side as well. So we're gonna pick that up. Go. You could drop down, but since we rested, their enemies are respawned, so I prefer not to drop down. Okay. So now we're back. So now we're gonna go up here, and this one has like an elite horned warrior. These guys are scary. There's two versions of them. This guy has the double swords, and then there's another one with a single greatsword. These are actually the easier variety to kill, in my opinion. The ones with the greatsword are literally the scariest non-boss enemies in the game, in my opinion. But so you see what I'm doing is I'm kind of keeping my distance and then doing my special attack, and then following up with the follow through. So spacing is kind of key. And if you can get those special attacks in, it's very good. The special attacks, even if you hit them with the projectile, you see that they kind of poise right through it. They don't really care much about it. And so they can be very dangerous because they don't get knocked back very easy. So what we're going to do now is we're going to jump up on these roofs. There are a couple enemies up here. Just be mindful of that. Pick up this item, the thin beast bones, and then there's another item here. Got another firefly. And what we're going to do is we're going to drop down. More enemies down here. This one is casting a spell, so we want to make sure we take him out. Don't get caught off guard. All right, so in here, we're actually going to get invaded. This guy's pretty tough. He has a lot of mesmer fire type spells. He hits pretty hard, so be mindful. We can pick up some dew gems. And that is the invader talking to us. He's gonna pop in any second here. So he does have long-ranged attacks, and he also has some very powerful fire-based thrust attacks with his spear. So as he's running to me, I'm going to hit him with a special. He rolled right through it like a champ, though. But the follow-up knocked him down. And as he's getting back up, jump attacks are good. Yeah, those fire, like that fire spear stab, oof, it hits like a truck. But I'm just kind of, he's got low poise, so I'm just kind of taking advantage of that. He does have one flask, and I let him have it. So now that I've got some space, I'm going to use my special on him, and he just got me with his fire stab, and you see how much damage that did. Pretty crazy. But his flask is out. Mine is not. Knocked him down. As he gets back up, gonna jump attack him. Take him out. So he is pretty tough, actually. But the key, you see what I was doing there, is maintaining that space and then getting the projectile off, and then following it up with the follow-up attack to close the gap. And then when he's knocked down, doing a jump attack as he gets back up, and kind of rinse and repeat. So for him, we killed him, and he gave us a new talisman that we're going to actually, I'm going to put it on because check this thing out. So I'm going to actually replace the Blade of Mercy. I am getting some critical hits, but not very many. What this does is it increases my attack power temporarily with a critical hit. Now this one increases my attack power temporarily after defeating an enemy. Any enemy you defeat for about 20 seconds, I think you get a 15% boost to your attack power. Maybe it's 10%. The other one gives you, the Blade of Mercy gives you also a 20-second boost, but it's a slightly larger percentage increase in damage. If you want both of them equipped, they actually do stack. So if you get a critical and a kill for 20 seconds, you're going to get the stacked damage, which is actually pretty significant. But anyway, I'm just going to put the one on for killing enemies. Up there, we got some arrows. Then back here, we got some more stuff. Black fireflies. And then up here is an Ash of War. The Shriek of Sorrow. So what we're going to do now is we're going to warp back to the small private altar. Kind of get our flasks back, our FP and our HP. So we are going to have to kill this horned warrior again. But it'll be good practice because there are several of them throughout the game. I kind of like to wait for him to pass and then get behind him. So that gives me a free shot. And then you see that he does not knock back at all. So do the stagger, or do the special again, and that should stagger him. Get the critical to finish him off. But these guys are dangerous, and as I said before, the great sword version is even more dangerous. The great sword versions, man, they can be really sketchy, and they do scare me because they're extremely powerful. They have insanely hard-hitting attacks, and they can close gaps very quickly with an attack that hits very hard. So you can't take them lightly, unfortunately. And they do kill me every now and then. Right, this guy, I think there's another person waiting for me when I go here, and this is one of the harder hitting ones, so I want to lure him back. Try to get cheeky and hit him with another arrow to the face, but I missed. Let's see. Yeah, there's another one waiting around the corner. That's why I lured the first one back. This one I'm just going to kill normally with my jump attack and then just a couple R1s. Turn back here for the red flesh mushroom, and then at this waterfall there is yet another enemy, and I think there's one around this corner too. Is there? No. I thought there was one that snuck up behind you, but this one... Oh yes, there is one that sneaks up. Okay, I remember that correctly, but I just didn't see him. Here we got a string. 4 of them at least, though. Alright, so next we're going to go in here. There's a couple enemies. Beware. These are the easier variety. I'm going to top off my health just be careful. Climb up the ladder. And we're going to get the storeroom key, which, remember that locked door that I showed you on the bridge where the sniper people were? It unlocks that door. So we're going to turn left here. Another big shadow guy. I completely whiffed on him, but that's okay. Here, pick up throwing daggers. What you want to do here is you go up, you can jump on this little awning from the roof, and then look back, you can jump across to this bridge. So you want to be holding the sprint button, and then sprint over and jump, and you should be able to make it. And so you see that we get to the other side of that gap that we saw when we climbed up the ladder. You can't make this jump across. You have to kind of get here the way we just did. Right here, we can pick up some white flesh mushrooms, and even more importantly, in this next room, have the key to the well depths. So now we have both keys. We have the key to the well and the key to the storeroom. So both of those locked doors I mentioned are now accessible. So what we want to do is you can just kind of hop back across, go back up the ladder, go back to where we were before. We're going to go up these stairs now. Before we went that way, up the stairs, hang a left, and then we're going to hang another left down these stairs. It's going to take us to an elevator, which will give us a nice shortcut. Since we got the well key, we're actually going to go down the well now, because this takes us back to the beginning near where that well was. So I'm actually going to rest just to get my FP back, my flasks back, the couple that I did use. This next area is a little bit tough. But we do have a blessing that we can use for our spear dashes. So what we're going to do is run up here. I'm not going to attack anything. I'm just going to run by, get straight to the well. And you'll be tempted just to drop down the well. The fall is too far. It'll kill you, so make sure you take the ladder. You see how far down this is. I did take a hit, but whatever. It's fine. Then look behind you. A couple enemies here. You have an item, Mesmer Fire Grease. This guy dropped down, and he did not die. Wow. Interesting. Immune to fall damage, I suppose. Okay, so now we have a big old poison swamp. Those of you who are familiar with the Souls games know your poison swamps, and of course you've played base game Elden Ring, so you know poison swamps. Here we are. We have them in this game too. So what I want to do is hop over here. I'm going to get to these red roofs over here for an item. So up here, a giant ulcerating tree spirit's gonna spawn. We're going to summon our mimic for this fight. It'll make our lives way easier, especially because we got the poison buildup. So wait for him to show up. I'm gonna pick up these items later after we kill him. Kind of wait for him to aggro on mimic. And we are gonna get poisoned. I mean, there's really no way around it fighting him in this poison swamp. That is his grab attack. Make sure when he jumps up and lunges forward like that you do dodge in case he is targeting you. His grab attack will do a ton of damage. Since we are poisoned, just mind your health. And Mimic is doing some work as well. Oh, did we get the stun? No, we did not. Gotta heal here. And that's his grab attack. He targeted Mimic though. Oh, there we go. There's the stun. And get the critical. Is that going to kill him? Yes. Very nice. For that, we get the immunizing horn charm +2. That boosts our resistances to poison. Now that he's gone, I'm going to pick up loot. Several items here. All right, mission accomplished. And so what I'm going to do is when I get back on dry ground, I'm actually going to heal the poison. And if I maneuver appropriately through the rest of this poison swamp, I should be able to avoid getting inflicted with poison again. See, I got some of these neutralizing boluses, so that helps. If you don't have any in your inventory, you should be able to craft them. Whoops, wrong flask. There we go. So where we're headed next is, there's an item kind of tucked away back here. That's what we're going for next. And as much as you can, try to stay on the actual gravelly ground because you won't accrue the poison buildup on the ground, but you will if you're in the poison swamp. So yes, right here, neutralizing boluses for curing poison. So we got our bolus back. What I want to do now, there's a bunch of these fly enemies down here, and there are a few instances where they show up in packs. I would try your hardest to resist the temptation to roll in the poison swamp, because if you do, you're going to get the poison all over you, and you'll continue to build up even if you get on dry ground. Try to resist the temptation to roll inside the swamp. And sometimes I do roll inside the swamp, and it just, you know, it is what it is. So what I want to do is, well, after we killed this guy, he tried to grab me. Their grab attack can be nasty. So we want to kind of hug this wall to the right as best you can. We're going to come back to this section later. It's actually going to be the last thing that we do back here. All right, got the white flesh mushroom. And then make our way back here. That roof we want to climb up on. You can see it's surrounded by a ton of these fly enemies. So if you have a weapon that does a large AoE, it's going to help you out a lot with these guys, because yeah, this is an instance where they're in packs. You got the guy on top shooting his poison spit at us. And these guys do poison damage when they attack, so you can get poisoned if you're not careful. Wait for him to spit. And then we'll go up. Get him. Yeah, there we go. See that? Look at that. It's a giant army. Let's see if I can get these guys with arrows. At least some of them. I made some of them mad at me. Yay! Okay. Fair enough. Oh, geez. I don't want to die here. I don't fancy that. But I'll take these guys out the old-fashioned way. Not to cure that poison, though. But now that I'm poisoned, I can be in the swamp and it doesn't matter. Okay, so see that guy? This is another dual sword guy. This is not the great sword guy. The great sword guy is the one that scares me the most. These guys can be scary too. They can be very dangerous. But not as bad as the other variety. So same thing as before. Special. Dash in, back away. Special. Dash in. Oh, I missed the follow-up, so he didn't stagger there, but that's fine. Special. That's his special. It'd be quite deadly. There we go. Got him. So I like using the special attack on these guys. Got the Horned Warrior Sword. That's a guaranteed drop. Also got the Horned Warrior Helm. That is not a guaranteed drop. And back here we got the Beast Liver. Okay, so back here, mind the flyers. You got the Poisoned Hand. I believe you need some arcane to use this. It is a fist type weapon, and it causes deadly poison buildup. I have not used it myself, but I have heard good things about it if you have the stats to use it. Bunch of guys over here on this one. So I am going to do this. There we go. That worked well. That also worked well. All right. Got the knot resin. And so now, this is that platform that I told you we're coming back to later. That was going to be the last thing that we do. Here we are. And so what we're going to do now is climb up this ladder. We'll have a look around. See that bridge over there? We're going to get to there much later. Much, much, much later. Can't get there yet. All right, so here we unlock another shortcut. This was a door that was locked from the other side. And we just opened, and it takes us back to kind of that first site of grace. That's by the big double doors that we opened up for another shortcut. So this is how the level all comes together. I just love it. It's the classic Miyazaki From Software level design that we've all come to know and love, and it's just so wonderfully executed yet again. Do I have enough to level up? I sure do not. So there's really nothing I can do. Only thing is I'm just gonna put it back to noon so it doesn't get dark on me. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the elevator shortcut back up, and we're just going to continue kind of on that same path that we were on before. Oh, I had my lantern on already. Took it off by accident. Okay, so here we came from that direction. We're gonna go this direction, and this we're gonna have a bunch of scorpions here. So first we're gonna take out all these small ones, and in this next room we're gonna have ourselves some fun, guys. Hopefully you guys don't have an intrinsic fear against scorpions, because yeah, we'll see. A little bit of nightmare fuel. Yeah, I see up there. Give ourselves the edge here. How about being the surprise instead of getting surprised? So you see there's another one in there too, so I can do this. He's kind of stuck there. Kind of cheesing him a little bit, but you know. How about getting the odds in our favor for once? Not such a bad thing. So if you rushed in, that other one would drop in too. You'd be fighting both of these at the same time. This is a medium-sized one. That one we just killed is a big one. You saw he had way more HP. That's a medium-sized one. So at least they didn't give us two big ones, but yeah. So directly in front, we have the bone bow. It's a short bow, so I don't use it. I prefer my bow. That staircase is broken. You can't go up it. So what we're going to do now is this pile of rubble. Very hidden secret path behind it. So jump over. Let's go through this door. And there's a bug guy that wants to ambush you. I knew he was there. I didn't think he would jump at me that soon. I was warning you about him, and I knew he was there going to do that exact same thing. And I wasn't expecting him to jump at me like at here. I was expecting him to jump at me at here. So I was talking about him right here, waiting, and then I was going to roll forward and dodge his attack, but nope. I think that was payback for what we did to those scorpions in that previous room. Fair enough. I can't complain. Here. Yeah, this fly. Then beast bones. And now we have another Miquella's Cross and another Erdtree fragment. So when we rest at the next grace we get to, we can level up our Erdtree to 5. And you touch the cross, carved words coalesce, I abandon here my arm sinistral. So you see in each of these crosses, he's like shedding part of his body, or part of his essence, you could say. Kind of interesting. We'll learn more about that as we go. So stay up top here. And we have the dry bouquet. This is a talisman that if you equip it and you summon your spirit ash, if your spirit summon dies and you have that talisman equipped, it actually raises your attack power. Very cool. So if you're having trouble against a boss and your spirit summon is not lasting for the whole fight, you might be able to equip that. It could give you the edge you need. So what we're going to do now is drop down. You see there's a bunch of our friendly fly enemies. And we're going to head towards the west first. There's a kind of a wall back there, so just make sure you're headed in that west direction. While this water looks murky, it's not poison, fortunately, so we don't have to worry about the poison on the ground, but we do have to worry about the poison from these enemies still, so just be careful. Bunch of them down here. Pick up the fly mold as crafting material, and the flies, they can drop the fly mold as well. Red flesh mushrooms and glass shard and stanching boluses. Now we're gonna head back to the other end, which actually gives us the path forward. Back here, a couple more flies. Just take them out preemptively so they don't sneak up on you. And what we're looking at, we've been there already. We picked up an item on that waterfall back there, so we're just kind of on the other side of that gate that was blocking off these sections. All right, a couple more. There's one behind this thing that's going to try his surprise grab attack on you. Get the broken rune to make sure you don't get surprised by him. He's going to try his grab attack. That one actually did it correctly. So now we're going to go up the ladder. Should heal. I'm going to heal directly at the top of the ladder. I suggest you do the same if your health is low, because there's two of the more powerful enemy types of the shadow guys. And there's one more that's going to sneak up behind us. There we go. See that guy? Now that one on this wall doesn't always get up. I'm not quite sure why I did. Maybe it was because I healed. Usually he stays put and I'm able to come around here and backstab this guy first, and he falls off the edge, and then you can come over and get this guy before he gets up. That's usually how I handle it. Now, I mentioned the horned warriors, the great sword variety. Well, finally, we have one who's going to come over here, and see, mind the also the sparkling pot shadowy guy over there. We don't want to rush in because we don't want him to disappear. If we kill him, he gives us a revered spirit ash. So I'm actually going to buff up for this guy. I'm going to throw on my physic flask as well so I get a quicker stagger. I'm going to top off health, top off FP. Come at me, bro. So he's got the greatsword. His attacks are just ridiculously powerful. And you see how quickly he closes gaps. He has like this hip check move where he can go, oh geez, look at those combos. Oh gosh, these guys scare me, and he almost did kill me, and he's about to crush me. Okay, I was hoping to get a stagger, which is why I put my physic flask on. Oh, those guys, man, they just cause problems. That's what they do. If you play it right, and because what I have on my physic flask is my the stone barbed cracked tier to make stance breaks easier. If you play it right, you can get a stance break quickly on those guys if you use your physic flask. I just didn't do it correctly, so I paid the price. Almost died. So rush up, kill this guy now that the coast is clear, and get the golden horn tender and revered spirit ash. This bird wants to come and play. That's just fine. Like here we get some black fireflies. Now what I want to do is run the other side of that bridge that we were on before. That's back that way, all the way back that way is to the scorpion room. So you notice that these birds have ghost flame. So mind that the ghost flame birds are inherently more dangerous than the other ones. So what this does is that this rooftop path kind of connects the sections of the broken bridge, but there are items on top, so we're going to go ahead and get those. But we kind of took the back way around, which is why we didn't have to use this rooftop path. All right, see the one up on the roof. We're going to hit it with an arrow so it doesn't try to attack us when we're fighting that other ghost flame bird. So you come over here. One at a time. Oh, there's a guy across that way that's doing that to us. He's out of range for us, but just stay on the move, and if that's happening to you, you should be okay. This is another ghost flame variety. We're gonna come back to that guy. Oh, he's over here. Interesting. I don't know where he came from. I thought it was the guy. There's other ones up top over there next to that wilted tree that do the same thing. I thought that was one of those. All right, so here we got a flight pinion. And since the bridge is broken, we actually want to go back around the way we came. We just came up here to get those items. Fortunately, the coast is clear from the giant horned warrior greatsword guy. Ouch. Now we're going to follow the path. You'll see there's a bunch of shadowy people up there, but first we're going to get this guy. Pick up the black fireflies. I want this one to sneak up on us, so take him out too. So now there are some bigger ones here, and then there are smaller ones as well, and then some of the ones that were casting those spells on the ground that pop up. So you just gotta kind of make haste. So yeah, see these guys are gonna be casting the spell. There's another big guy that just whacked me in the face, so I'm gonna retreat, heal up, fight this guy. But the range of these magic people is actually pretty substantial, so it's going to be hard to get away from that, but I'm going to fight him just away from everybody. And we're going to go back. Nice. There we go. Got the loot. That was just a drop. And don't forget the revered spirit ash. So we want to go all the way up now. Take a right. So this is the broken staircase in the scorpion room. If you hadn't already killed the scorpions, they'd be hanging right there off the wall. And of course, because nothing can ever be easy, on our way up, we have one of these ring blade dudes. So just watch out for him. They close gaps very quickly, but the special knocks him down and gives us the edge. There we go. Took him out. That was very nice. He didn't drop anything for us, but that's okay. All right, so this is the last grace. That's the boss room right in front of us. So what we're gonna do now is just to show something not super important. We are going to level up our Skadu tree and our spirit ash and level up. Again, I'm trying to get my faith to 21. What we're going to do now is we're actually going to warp back here since we have the storehouse key. You don't have to do this. I'm just kind of doing it just to show y'all. Because we actually can't really get anything in that room yet. Until after the boss fight, but there's an NPC in there, and I think her dialogue is different if you go before the boss fight.
Who art thou, stranger? By the look of thee, another of Mesmer's people.
She thinks we're associated with Mesmer.
Tell me, how do these old bones, our lands were by thy kind set aflame, our tower by thy kind veiled it, thou camest, robbing us of all, spoiling all. Listen, progeny of thy sins, thou shalt have thy recompense. the sacred. Till then, with this old hag, do what thou wilt. For what we enact thyself, tuck away the loathsome issue.
So she assumes we're with Mesmer. So a little bit of lore was disclosed there. So there was, back in the day, you notice this place is totally messed up. This is the main, I guess, settlement for the Hornsent. Way back in the day, this door opens up and you can just drop down there. It doesn't take you anywhere new, by the way. Back in the day, there was a war between Mesmer and the Hornsent, and Mesmer won. He set everything on fire, and it was very bad for the Hornsent. So that's why there's animosity between the two groups. As we get further into the game, we'll find more about why they were fighting against each other. But just know this place got wrecked by Mesmer and his soldiers. If you watch the story trailer that came out before this game was released, you'll see a little bit more about that war and see what Mesmer did to these people. And yeah. So that's just a little bit of a backstory there. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to, for this fight, actually, I'm going to equip I'm going to take this off because this only raises my attack power if we kill an enemy. We're not going to be killing an enemy in the middle of a boss fight. So it's this talisman is effectively useless during a boss fight. So I'm going to put the Great Shield talisman on to increase my physical attack resistance. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go on and buff. Throw my Physic Flask on, throw on Flame Grant Me Strength, give me some extra attack power. The Flame Grant Me Strength doesn't really last for very long. What we're gonna do is we're gonna walk right in here. There's a cutscene, and as soon as the fight starts, we're gonna summon Mimic.
O horn-decked beast, from higher sphere delivered, take root inside the tower's sculpted keepers, and perched within, we beg of thee, rise. Dance and kavod, cleanse all that thou wilt. Cruelty, woe, and those who plague the tower. Cleanse away the strumpet's vile progeny.
All right, so we're gonna summon Mimic right away. Hold triangle, press right. And we're gonna wait till the aggro's on Mimic before we start attacking. So those of you who saw the trailer should recognize this boss. This boss was featured in the trailer. And his attacks are very erratic. And he's very aggressive, which is why we want to wait for him to aggro on Mimic. And once he's on Mimic, gonna do our usual special. And I will say, I forgot to mention, outside of the boss door, you can actually summon Freya for this fight as an NPC. Summoning NPCs increases the boss's health pool, so the boss will have more health. Summoning your Spirit Ash does not increase the boss's health, so just keep that in mind. All right, got a critical there. So really what I'm doing is I'm just kind of keeping my distance, waiting for him to aggro on Mimic, then I kind of walk in and then do my special. So this is his phase change at half health. He becomes elemental. His first element is lightning. He's back on Mimic now, so I'm going to kind of take advantage of that. Now he's turning his attention to me, but just stay away from the lightning and stay away from his grab attack. Nope, I'm out of FP, so I should probably think about recovering. Pop the red flask as well. Now he's back on Mimic. Run in, kind of trying to stay behind him, and then special, rinse and repeat. And he has a bunch of lightning AoEs now. He's going to change again. Now he's got Frost. So he changes elements now that he's on Mimic. So kind of keep that spacing. Use your projectile if you're using the same weapon that I've been using. Almost got him. Mimic might take him out. We'll see. Mimic's almost got him. Oh, Mimic took the tail whip. I'm trying to hit him, but to no avail. I think Mimic might get this one. Let's see. We're in a race. I think I don't know. I don't know who got it. It was a tie. But anyway, we're successful. We get the Remembrance of the Dancing Lion for our trouble. And the Divine Beast head. Make sure you pick that up. We got a Grace right here as well. So anyway, if you summon Freya, it is not required for her quest line, but it does impact her quest line if you do summon her. If you do summon her, you can go back and talk to her and she'll have additional dialogue. It doesn't really change much, but does give her some extra dialogue. If you want to experience that yourself, you can. But just know that it'll increase the boss's health. And, you know, you'll have an extra person in there to divert the aggro and to do damage. So it's probably worth it. I tend to not to prefer to summon NPCs for boss fights. That's just pretty much my philosophy for all of the Souls games. And that's just how I roll, so. But yes, I just wanted to point out, you can summon Freya for that. Her summon sign's right outside the door of the boss. And do that if you please. So we're gonna put my regular talisman back on. I'm gonna take the shield talisman off and put the Crusade insignia. Because that attack power buff, the 15% after you kill every enemy is, I mean, it doesn't stack 15% on 15% for every enemy you kill. It's either, the buff is either on or off. But if you're killing a group of enemies, you get that 15% boost for the other enemies in that same group. I mean, it can be pretty significant. So up here we have another Revered Spirit Ash. You can climb up these stairs. Talk to the ghost. Ghost is a horn scent. It appears to be, at least. Oh, towers of ours, hidden in shadow, a lofty spiral piercing the heavens. Lead him safely unto greater godhood, and in divinity grant our salvation. So for those of you who have played all the way through Elden Ring, which I'm guessing is most of you if you're watching this should be familiar. We have a door that is blocked by thorns, so we can't get in here yet. Not until later in the game. Tower of Shadow message. This isn't really required for anything. You could just warp straight out of here if you wanted to, but I just wanted to show you this. Message left by Needle Knight Leda, addressed to kindred spirits who also pursue Miquella's trail. The gate of divinity lies in the tower sealed by shadow. That is surely where kind Miquella is headed. We are no Empyreans, but we must locate the path that will lead us there. I will follow the crosses east. So that's giving us kind of a hint to go east, and this is showing us the direction of, this is maybe where we're about to go next if we want to progress the story. That being said, now that we've killed the boss, it's actually going to change the dialogue of that NPC that we talked to who assumed we were with Mesmer. Obviously did not like Mesmer or anyone affiliated with Mesmer, and for good reason, because these guys got wiped out by Mesmer. So in order to change the dialogue, what you got to do is that headpiece that we got after beating the boss, you got to equip it. It's all the way at the bottom here. Divine Beast head. Throw that on. Now her dialogue is going to change.
Oh, such a joy to smell this. Does a sculpted keeper stand? Oh, as I felt the sacred beasts forgive this old woman. 'Tis such relief after an eternity of the mind. Her voice as if it's, oh. I implore
You exhaust your dialogue.
of the sick, have my son and dance thy dance of beauteous. Take vengeance upon Mesmer. They who betrayed us, they who let them face in thy wrath. My song will I sing.
All right, so we get Watchful Spirit. That's a new incantation.
Sculpted my song.
Okay, so what we can do now is if you warp back, you just basically have to fast travel, then you go back to her, she's going to give you something different. Now that we talked to her with the head on, I don't think you have to have it on anymore. I'm actually going to test that. I don't think you have to have the head on anymore now that you've gotten her other dialogue. The Raging Wolf helm back on.
O horn-decked beast, from higher sphere delivered. Welcome, O glory, our
Yep.
kind indeed. Ah, pardon me. Surely thou must hunger, I prithee. 'Tis only plain fare.
All right, so we got Scorpion Stew. So let's check that out. It's actually pretty good. Boosts physical damage negation temporarily and gradually restores HP.
Horn-decked be. Thou art sure. Though, if the flavor doth thy tongue offend.
Okay. And as a little Easter egg, you can take your weapon off and just punch her.
Beast from shouldst thou be thou art
Cool.
keeper. What I've come over.
She has extra dialogue.
Look at me. I am not thine enemy.
Now, those things will hurt you if they hit you.
His sordid lot are elsewhere.
If you do this, make sure you have your weapon off so they don't do too much damage to kill her.
Art thou now becalmed?
She's
Worry not.
she's doing this to calm me down.
Were not thine own. 'Twas the thrashing rage of the sacred beast, spilling out from within thee, I am sure. 'Tis bound to occur once in a while. See,
She's kind and understanding. She knows
no
I was just overcome
harm at all.
for a brief second there. Anyway, that doesn't really do anything to her quest line. It's just a little Easter egg. So what you can do now is, now that we have that stew, we can take it back to Hornsent, give it to Hornsent, and he will give us 3 furnace visages for it. The thing about the stew is you can only carry one at a time.
As long as you
You can give him the scorpion stew.
Tis fair of the tower. Brings back memory. This, by my indeed, I think it things once broke. Look, take this. My desire not to be.
We get 3 furnace visages for it. And then the thing about the stew is you can only carry one of them at a time. But if you use it, or in this case, we gave it to Hornsent, we can go back and she'll give us another one. Now, if we try to take this one and give it to Hornsent for more furnace visages, he will not take it from us. He can only do that the one time. But we can get another one from her
Horn-decked beast from high. Welcome.
in case you wanted to use it.
Oh, dost thou prithee? I've an.
So I guess you could say we can have our scorpion stew and eat it too. Or give it to Hornsent too, however you want to say it. All right, so that is going to do it for today, for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Had a lot of fun. Got our first remembrance boss out of the way. The next episode, we're probably going to be doing some more side dungeons. And then hopefully the next episode, we'll have everything out of the way to where we can do the next larger dungeon, I can say. I will say that it's not as large of a dungeon as the Belurat Tower settlement was, but it is larger than, for example, like a cave, and there is another remembrance boss at the end of it. So we're at level 5 Erdtree, level 5 Spirit Ash. Pretty dang good. We're doing well. We're going to work the time today, and then with that, we're going to call it a day. And I will see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.